Hi, Matt with eTrailer. Today we're going to be talking about the eTrailer tongue jack cover. We're really going to be focusing on what really separates this one, how to install it, and what other options really compare to this. This is going to come in two sizes. The first size is what we have on right now. That's going to be the smaller size. This is going to be 10 by 13 inches. And to put it into perspective, the larger one is going to be 14 by 17 inches. And you can already see how much larger this is, and really for what we have today, this is a little excessive. Right now we have a pretty good fit. If you try to put something on here, this size, that might be a little bit too big. But either way you go with, they're gonna work the exact same way, just one's gonna be bigger than the other. Now what's great about a jack cover is it's gonna help this last a lot longer. Especially something else to think about is with sun damage. Because if you have sun just constantly beating down on here, it can cause some of this fading, so that's going to be more of a cosmetic thing, but it could also eventually lead to cracking. And that really will lead into my next point, and that's going to be that these can help against weather resistance. Because if this is just sitting outside in the off season when you're not using this, snow is piling up on it or a lot of rain is making contact with it, what could happen is sometimes this could run into some complications, especially if it is an electrical jack. Even with the manual style jacks too, because if there is a crack for that water to get through somewhere, it could eventually lead to rusting, which could cause some complications when you are trying to use your jack. And the reason your jack is going to be protected from those conditions is mainly going to be due to the material of this cover. Now, like I said earlier, this is going to be mainly for those storage applications, so you're not going to be touching your RV a whole lot, and this is going to be sitting outside. And what's going to help us is this material. That's going to be a vinyl weather-resistant material. That's going to prevent water from seeping through there and getting onto your jack. And if we look underneath, we're going to have this black felt material. And after handling it for a bit, at first I thought water would more so soak into this, but it seems like it's going to be more water resistant, so water's more so going to beat up on it and just flow down. And with it being angled like this, I can't really see too much water getting up in there from this angle. I think this is going to be better suited for those humid climates where you do have a lot of moisture building up, because we are going to have this vented bottom. That's going to allow us to properly keep this dry. I have this drawstring to help keep things nice and tight so it doesn't blow away on you in those windy conditions. And there is a little bit of a gap there, but I'm pretty fine with that. And that's why it's also important that you do get the right size for your RV or your jack, because if you get one too big, it might not sit on there very well. As for the quality of this cover, it feels pretty sturdy so far. Really, one point we need to watch out for is here. This is more so you gotta watch out for if you're really pulling on it. There shouldn't be any situation where you are pulling a lot of force from this, but I do like this type of stitching since you can't really see it. The only point we can see the stitching is at the bottom, right here. And I think this is a little bit less important since it is at the bottom. We're not gonna have a lot of moisture trying to seep through these points. And as for the drawstring, this feels pretty standard like anything you'd see on most products. And we do have this little plastic clip to kind of keep this in place, but for the job that it's doing, I think this is just fine. And if you really want to make sure it lasts a long time, you just need to make sure you properly maintain it. And what I mean by that is from that winter season, this is probably going to have a little bit of moisture damage or maybe some mildew on it, and that's an easy fix. All you have to do is take it off, hose it, and make sure it dries out in the sun. Afterwards, you just need to make sure you stow it somewhere that's going to be dry and is enclosed. But really, at the end of the day, there's not a whole lot to it. Now, if you are curious about some other options out there, UltraFab makes one, and really the main difference with that is it's going to be a little bit of a different size, and it's going to come in black. There's some pros and cons to that. Black is usually more of a sleek design. It kind of matches more things often. The downside is it's going to attract more heat to it, so take that as you will. I also think with this having a larger size too, is going to open up more opportunities for different types of jacks, so you might have a little bit more play with some of these covers. That was just a look at some of the features of the eTrailer tongue jack cover. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.